up and okay, see you in a second. Bye. Hi, everybody. I am a little bit late. Thank you for joining. Those of you who will be jumping on shortly or catching the replay. My name is Sarah. If you are new here, thank you for joining. I am a depth quantum energy work practitioner and a mother of 4. You can find me on most social media at SarahDescending. I do offer a number of one-on-one energy work services. You can purchase those individually or as packages or join my membership. If you are interested in that, I urge you to check out my stan.store, which is currently where booking is handled, stan.store / SarahDescending. And I'll be having some structural changes implemented pretty soon to my offerings, in which it's going to be very advantageous for you to consider booking multi-session packages or joining a very low ticket membership in order to access one-on-one single session services with me at a more financially feasible cost. So again, thank you for being here. I'm going to flow for a little bit and then jump right into our first mini Quantum Akasha individual session, only it's not quite individual. As those who are familiar with me know, my work in the Akash is unique and very quantum. And the way the Akash as the primary substance, which is the Spirit, Holy Spirit, an aspect of the Godhead, works with me and has initiated me is a little bit different than some of the more commonly held modern day teaching and thought about the Akashic record. The Akash is everywhere and everything. It is the holographic record, and not only the record, it is the holographic potentiality, probability, and possibility of all that is and is not at any time and outside of time too. It is cosmic. It is the true Akash is here, there, and everywhere, and we are all part of it. And it is also a cosmic location that in my work and visioning and accessing of this, interfacing with this, is located directly below, directly one step down from the all that is, the Creatress Mother, the All Father, the energy of the cosmic womb and tomb of all creation. So that is how I conceptualize the Akash. Akasha means primary substance. It is a Sanskrit word. And as the primary substance, you're part of it. And so am I. And I have been called to connect with it in a unique and special way for clients, and also just as kind of the primary and main source that I intuitively work with and connect to. I work extensively in the shamanic realms. The shamanic and the Akashic realms are really one and the same. All things cosmic are also shamanic and Akashic, and all things earth-based are as well. We are the marriage of spirit and matter, and as such, it manifests and creates in a multitude of ways. So with that said, I did spend quite a bit of time setting the container for this evening, along with one of my collaborators and partners. And I am going to, even though we have foundationally set the space, I'm going to go ahead and grab my notebook and set the space with those who are present here, and decree and declare a few things before we go any further. And I'll talk to you about what I'll be doing and who I'll be reading for. So here we go. I decree and declare that this container is created, infused, and protected by the essence and light of Creator, Great Spirit, the holy and divine Mother, Father of the cosmos, the great Abun. I call in and thank with everlasting gratitude Yeshua as the living embodiment of the Spirit of the Christ. We thank you for your modeling of the way, which is the compassionate and awakened heart. We thank all the ancestors, both past and future, of those present today for their space holding, support, and loving guidance. We are here to activate and build upon the wisdom codes that are every cells of these bodies as we presently embody the sum total of all who came before us and all who will come after us. As such, in gentle yet firm declaration, all siphoning ancestral spirits, other disembodied humans that are confused or in distortion, all non-human intelligence and AI tracking that is meant for malevolent purposes that disregards free will and conscious consent, all demonic oppression, suppression, and or alien attachments, implants, tracking and monitoring devices, listening devices, ocular implants, womb and sacral interferences, and anything else, both known and unknown to me at this time, will be guided to the appropriate place in or out of space-time and time-space, including the cosmic void for obliteration and or the sun for the same throughout the session. And with that, I humbly ask permission to access the personal part of the organic weaving of this beautiful web of love and consciousness and life that is what we would conceptualize as the Akashic record for the first client tonight. And I have permission. And I want to clarify before I start the reading for the first client that I'm actually accessing an interconnection of the alchemical third thing that is created in relational alchemy. So we are here, each one of us, to perform significant feats and initiations of inner alchemy within the self. And then we have numerous people within our life path that we have soul incarnated to perform alchemy with one another. This does not just occur in sexual or romantic relationships, though it can and does with certain of those. An alchemical process between two people can be parent and child. It can be dear friends. It can be a lifelong connection to somebody you don't really like very much, where there's kind of a frequent dissonance that is felt, and there's an alchemical process that occurs because of this for both people. So I wanted to clarify, because this reading, I've done one or two of these before, and this reading may be a little bit different because we're jumping into the third thing, the Akashic record of the third thing. And what is meant by the third thing here is that in alchemy, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, it equals 3. You plus me equals an entirely third, new and different thing that is not you and not me. So 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, it equals 3. And we see this The easiest example that I can give you of this is the birth of a child. So in that alchemical process, 1 + 1 = 3, not 2. And the new person, the new ensouled being, is not the mother and not the father. It is an entirely new third thing. So that's a very physical, in your face, real, daily occurring version of alchemy. So with that explanation, I'm going to close my eyes and start flowing for the two people whose relational container and Akashic record I'm accessing. So right away, I'm seeing the child of one of these people. It is important that I maintain anonymity for these lives, so I'm going to be general, and I'll talk to this person later. I'm seeing lots of silver and gold stars and purple streamers, purple swirling around this child. And this child is already alive. This is not a future baby. This is somebody who's already present with us. It's really, really important that the courting that has had a tendency to happen between this child and one of her parents in various other incarnations be identified so that she or he can fly free while being grounded in the safety of the parental connection and container. It sounds like a small thing, especially if we're talking about a young child, but it is actually massive because the freedom that this child will find under the safety, the foundational safety of the home, is what will allow her to, or him, to dissolve and repel attempts at siphoning and courting that other people will be frequently attempting and have been attempting for this person's entire life. So there needs to be no courting between this child and their parents so that this child is well equipped to understand what freedom and security together feel like, so that he or she can identify what it is not. So when this child is a light carrier, and I'm talking about true light, not the false light of the New Age cage or toxic positivity. I'm talking about true light. This is a child who incarnated to assist with the expansion and evolution of the entire world that we right now call Earth. And many such children who've been born in the last 20 years or so, especially since 2012, are carrying a quotient of source light that is unlike what many bodies had been able to hold and carry prior to that time period. So that is coming in as important. And while it isn't necessarily applicable to both the two people who reached out for this reading, because the child is experiencing this dynamic with one of the parties, it is important to identify that that was a karmic pattern that this child and one of the people that is receiving the reading have experienced in different iterations, is what the Akash is saying. And because there is a coming together of this unit as a whole, it's crucial to identify now, because the addition of another person, so like this child has an alchemical relationship with one of the people in the greater relationship that booked the reading. So there's multiple groups of alchemy happening here. And the partner, this is a romantic relationship, the new partner is and always has been intended to be the catalyst for making sure that the unhelpful and unhealthy courting between the child and the parent doesn't continue. And this is subtle. It is subtle and it is subconscious. It's very, very deeply unconsciously occurring. There is a need for more recall about concurrent quantum parallel Egyptian, what we would think of as ancient Egyptian lives, and things that need to be brought into conscious awareness in this now life and this waking reality, this waking dream, to better alchemize the deeply subconscious courting that can and sometimes is occurring. This is not a moral issue. This is not being energetically clean enough, or should even be considered an energy leak. It is so deeply buried within the subconscious patterning of the soul templates that these two people are carrying and embodying and aspecting, that the only thing needed to dissolve and break it is conscious awareness and a revocation of consent to play out this karmic patterning repeatedly in this life now. So it's not, nobody did anything wrong. It just is, and it doesn't have to be that way. You can decide to change it and make it another way. So I hope that is helpful. I'm going to just kind of see, feel, and see. I'm seeing lots of green. The green of the heart of the mother. Fields of wildflowers, fields of like grass, native grasses, wildflowers. Lots of daisies, plants in the Asteraceae family. It is in connecting with the mother, and not just the mother as earth, the mother as Gaia, as Tara, as all of the names she has been that we have lost in our collective remembrance, that we are in the process of retrieving. It is in the connection with the mother, of all aspects of the mother, that you better become and remember the father, and the living embodiment that both people in this connection have agreed to be, to do, to become. And the earth and her other birthings are a very, very crucial part of this. You cannot run or hide or ignore the calling as medicine people. You cannot not make medicine and be medicine in your every breath. For it is in denying that call that you yourself come into dis-ease. Just collapsing another timeline for one of these people related to a potential future cancer that has been removed and timeline reversed. The reason I'm able to do this is because these are people that I have worked with before, and I have consent to do that. I wanted to editorialize that that's not typically part of an Akashic Records reading, at least not for me. Some of the clearing that you may see me perform on mini readings is in addition to, and only when I have consent from a regular client or even a new client to go a little bit above and beyond the general scope of an Akashic reading if it were to come up. So I'm just continuing to remove what I'm being told to call cancer spores from the left lower lobe of a lung. And similar, these are just mold spores that have been making the other person sick periodically for many years from, well, this like the sinuses. And again, I'm doing this because I can, and I know these people and I have consent to do so. So this is typically something that would be done in an energy clearing session. But if you come to me for an Akashic Records reading, what occasionally happens is that the Akash will stop me and say, okay, here's something that needs to happen. Here's some clearing that we need to do in order for you to bring forth the most, the clearest, most clarified, helpful for this now, intuitive Akashic information for this person. So, okay, that's done. If you choose it, there are significant opportunities for travel in the next 4.5 and 5 years. It primarily because of the conditions in the world right now needs to occur in the lower 48 states and maybe some Canada. And as we have shared before, consider being wary of coastal regions. We as the Akash, and I'm still here, I'm not channeling, I am combining and communing with the Akash, the Akash has been telling me as Sarah, or we have been streaming on concerns about certain coastal areas for about 1.5 years now, privately. "2025 will be a momentous year for this couple." I'm seeing the whirlpool, world pool, a little wordplay there, of liquid plasma love that is the very essence of the alchemical third thing that you have been creating together, evolving together. It always returns to love. You always return to love. The essence of the pool of liquid plasma love that you both are, that you create together right now, is the sovereign, autonomous, regal purple, and the clearest, crispest, most soothing and true royal blue. There are, as you know, multiple levels, layers, dimensions, densities to this reality and all the others. And as you live your earth life, doing the work you came to do and being the love that you already are, it is important to remember and connect with what is happening in other realms and what those aspects of yourself are doing. I feel you already do this to some degree, but it could be greater. There are creation endeavors that are occurring with one another in other realms. It's not that you need, in these higher dimensional localities, the other person to create with. It's that you choose the expansion of the love that you are together to amplify the experience of creation and to magnetize this with one another. I'm seeing lots of what I know to be energy and electricity and magnetism, but it appears in this vision as, I'll just say, magic dripping off the fingers, magic with each breath, the creation, the co-creation and co-rendering of a new thing in each moment before a thought is fully even thought, before the thought is fully formed, it is there created. And each person can do it by themselves in this particular realm that I'm seeing, but you don't have to. And so there's a lot of that dynamic that's at play for the two of you. And it's important to, especially when things are difficult and challenging here on Earth, as we are in the midst of such collective stress and strain, as we are the midwifing, we are the doula, we are the demolition team, and then we are the the rebirth team. And when things are difficult here, it's really important to connect with the other yous in these other places, these other aspects of the expanded souls that you are. Return to love and create with one another. What time is it? Okay, there is something that I need to talk with you privately about that doesn't feel suitable about another child. It's not suitable for live streaming. So if you want to message me when we are finished here, we will conclude together. So I'm just feeling into what else needs to happen. I wanted to say a bit more about the travel. They just brought the Akash brought my attention back to that. There are many, many beautiful places in the United States and Canada that you could connect with and offer some healing work. And the land, the mother, always stewards and reciprocates in kind. something that I, as Sarah, call the four corners. Four corners in an energy work session needs to be implemented for some of the places that you will be experiencing with one another during the potential travels, if you choose them, over the next 4.5 to 5 years. We can talk more about those specifics later, but there will be places where, as you continue to initiate into your own practices, potentially a four corners team to really bring a restoration and redemption to areas that you may visit that are in deep need of attention and intention for that restoring. So that's coming up. The gut feeling is always the right feeling, even when it's not. The Akash is saying that to me. So what feels really important about the gut feeling for the two of you, and the third thing that you are together, is to proceed with the initial gut instinct. And by gut, we really mean womb. And we also, as Sarah always says, the womb is an all-inclusive word. Men have a center of creation as well. We all have an energetic womb space. So when we say gut feeling, we really mean like the coherent heart womb, or the coherent heart mind womb. And that is important in this case. And I can see that there continues to be, in an attempt to offer a lot of grace, a tendency to, on occasion, ignore the gut feeling and give or extend like the benefit of the doubt more than is healthy for your energetic container. Shoot first, ask questions later is what's being offered. And it doesn't mean that we're shooting. It just as a figure of speech, what I'm seeing is needing to heed the gut instinct first in an attempt to secure the foundational security and safety of the relational container, as well as the greater family and, like, I guess, friend or community container. And that's coming up as quite important in like where you're at for your personal journeys, both individually and together as a unit. Yes. And there are some more details that I will share with you privately about that, like I said, I want to protect people's names and anonymity on these lives. So I'm just going to feel into, like, just for another 20 or 30 seconds and see if we are ready to conclude this. I am not a doctor or a medical professional. I always offer that before like a health advice thing comes in. Do your own research. I am a medical intuitive or a body intuitive, and the Akash frequently offers suggestions. And for the male, so do your own research. Look all this stuff up yourself. I just want to say, for the male of this reading, CoQ10 is being recommended as something of note for you to research. And For the female in the connection, there is a recommendation to read up on calcium D-glucarate. So I'm going to offer those two safe and widely accessible, widely used supplements as things that are coming up that could potentially benefit both of these people in their current stage of health and wellness. And with that, I'm going to say the final message and suggestion was to make more brownies. So I'm not sure who or what that was pertaining to. I saw the kitchen, and of course, these are from scratch brownies. From scratch brownies. I'll just offer that as Sarah, I love the Love and Lemons recipe and have had great success. If you are on a healthier or like gluten-free diet, I've had really good success with the amazing brownie recipe from the blog Love and Lemons. But make more brownies, bake with the family. Make memories, because every moment is a memory, and the time is going so much faster than we realize, or than it feels that the two people in this reading are aware of at times. So with that, I'm going to thank you guys for listening to the first reading. I'm just going to pause and kind of recalibrate and chat with you for a minute. Hi, Lindsay. Hello, Miss Tammy. Thank you guys for being here. I'm so honored by your presence. I talked a little bit about who I am at the beginning of this. If you are new to my spaces, you can find me on most social media at SarahDescending. I'm most active on Twitter. I also have accounts on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, where I am at Descending Sarah, because SarahDescending was already in use. And where else? Oh, Substack. I'm also on Substack and Threads and Blue Sky. And it gets to be a lot to keep up with. I'm intending to become more, hi, Richard. I'm intending to become more active on Substack. I really like the feel of that so far. But if you would like to connect with me, or you're interested in jumping on some time for these live streams, which I'm intending to do about 3 times a week, depending upon how my schedule is with my family and my private session schedule. I will be announcing, I usually announce the day of, like early in the day or the night before, that I'll be live on YouTube for a mini Akashic stream at 9 p.m. Central the next day. And anytime that I announce a live, just so you're aware, anytime a live is announced, you can jump on or shoot me an email or a message or comment if you would like to connect for one of the mini readings. So if nobody reaches out, or sometimes if I am short on time and I've only got 20 or 30 minutes to jump on, we wouldn't have individual readings that day. It would just be a collective message. But for the most part, if I announce one of these, do always assume that these individual 15 to 20 minute mini Quantum Akasha sessions are available. It is one of the low ticket ways to connect with me. And I'm trying to offer that as an accessible way that most anyone could connect with me at. You can email me for one of these, SarahDescending@proton.me. That's also in the description box. Regular one-on-one sessions are currently scheduled with me at stan.store /SarahDescending. And my schedule will be different next week. I am honored to be doing the BQH immersion course with Candace Craw-Goldman, who's the creator of Beyond Quantum Healing, which is one of the other phenomenal quantum energy work modalities that I participate with and facilitate in my energy work practice. So With that said, we're going to go on to client number 2 today. And this person has asked for kind of a focus on really whatever wants to flow through, but also guidance as to what may be needed for their personal evolution and growth at this time in this stage in their lives. So, with that intention in mind, I'm going to close my eyes and request, just request for a moment that we be granted, access to look at the part of the interconnected weaving of consciousness and love that is the primary substance, as pertains to this person. So what we would normally call their Akashic record, even though we're all part of like the greater tapestry. So here we go. I've just received blessing of the mother, and the Akash is flowing through and around me. So I'm seeing a lot of blue. Like even before I closed my eyes, I could tell that the color, frequency, and signature that I was going to be picking up on would be blue. So, and it is more of a blue. I'm going to tell you that this feels related to the throat to me. I want to keep it somewhat general to protect anonymity, but I feel like it's crucial to be focusing on authentic communication with yourself, but also with others. I am being told to convey to you that any difficulties in communication seem to be related to strife and potentially like difficult attachment or lack of attachment to a primary caregiver when you were a young child. What's coming up is there may have been, I have deep sympathy and compassion for all mothers because I'm a mother of 4. But what the Akash is showing me is that it may be likely that there was significant emotional difficulties experienced by your mother when you were young. She may have been very overstimulated, as most moms of young children frequently are. And if they don't have the resources or enough support within the family or the community, this can be very, very taxing for a mom. And if there were already some mental health or other instabilities present, that's what I'm getting, is that you at this point in your life, for your evolution and growth, we are focusing on, or it's being recommended that you focus on continuing to come into an authentic place within the body. Yeah, you're like really working on bringing the mind down into the body and bringing the groundedness of the body up into the throat, eye, inner eye, and mind, and even the crown. So you're really working on building coherence, is what the Akash is saying, with a focus on truthful communication. And mostly that's truth like with yourself, and allowing the things that haven't been okay, that you have suppressed within the body, expression. And in acknowledging and expressing, I'm seeing more release of what no longer is serving you will come. And you will continue to clear the throat of the energetic blockage that's been present. It's really important. You can just do this when you're alone. the Akash is showing me that it is really important for you to connect with your voice. So you can hum, sing, chant, whatever feels most aligned for you. Sing, yeah, like singing to yourself. You're not on stage performing necessarily, but really working with the voice and the power of truth and wisdom contained within your voice is really, really like a big focus right now of how you continue to clear the throat of any residual blockages that are connected to either a personal wounding with your mother in this life, or kind of like the carrying of a collective mother wound. If that, I hope that makes sense in terms of how these energies are showing up in the Akash and what's being shown to me. It's likely some of both. It's likely that there was like some collective mother wounding that you came in templated with as like a cellular memory, and then experiences with your own mother or other guardians or caregivers potentially amplified and kind of compounded this. And so that's really coming up quite a bit for you. There's some energy clearing needed in the back of the head. We can talk more about that later, or you can message me. I'll just tell you what I'm seeing. And like right now, I'll just mention that there are 3 energetic cords, but these actually look like electrical cords. They look like the AV audio visual, like what you would plug into a VCR when we were younger, is kind of what I'm seeing. So they're related to technology. They're related to I'm going to say timelines that some of us have experienced and lived through, and we're now kind of in a different, like the technology today is a little different than when that was a primary technology, but they need to come out. So I'm going to offer that to you. Red, yellow, and blue. No, red, yellow, and green. Excuse me, red, yellow, and green. So pull those out and heal the energy field there. If you need help doing that, you can reach out to me for a session. I'm just going to evaluating use of technology is what the Akash would like to share about this. Evaluating use of technology and potential, how shall we say, like there are messages or intentions or energies that can be woven into material that we interact with and engage with online. It could be any number of things that is weaving the ability to plug into the back of your headspace energetically into some kind of content that you might be watching. So not a big deal. Just to be clear, this is very much like what I find in doing regular energetic clearing for all the people that I've worked with, and myself and other quantum energy work practitioners. So I don't want anyone to be alarmed. This is a very typical type of a thing that we encounter. So that's the Akash wanted to share that. I'm seeing lots of roses. I'm seeing the more traditional, like beautiful red rose, and then I'm seeing some very light. Do they call them tea roses? Like they're smaller and the flower shape is a little bit different. May I have more information about what these symbolize? Okay, so there's a few things that the roses are indicative of for you right now. Potential relationship developing. I'm seeing that in 3 of the most likely to be created 5 timeline spirals that are close to your energetic body within your own Akashic field or record in the next 6 months, it's really important to be in relationship with individual autonomous sovereignty, and the roses themselves, or as the beautiful flowers that they are helping to transmit this to you. There may be a tendency for potential partners that you have dated in the past or been in relationship with prior to now to have come with their own individual, unique set of wounding. And what I'm being shown is a tendency to have codependent dynamics pop up from time to time. And the encouragement right now is to understand that you're evolving beyond that, but it's going to be a common pattern or template that feels familiar to you. And I am to convey to you that you are not here to have to rescue anybody else. You can rescue one another together. There's a flow about reciprocity and needing to be at a similar place on the journey or on the path. And it doesn't mean that something couldn't work out with somebody else who's doing something totally different than you. But I'm seeing that it's very likely that you will have a connection with somebody who is engaging in a similar individual path back to soul, to wholeness, to the remembrance that we are already all whole and holy. And that's going to be like a dynamic if you find that, in which things can be reciprocal. There can be love and care for one another together. And it needs to feel equitable. And before you engage with anybody in a new relationship, the recommendation is to come into like continue working on the throat and coming into a place of extreme authenticity with yourself and others, as well as the kind of radical self-accountability that I as Sarah speak of often. It is through radical accountability and responsibility that we come into greater grace, forgiveness, and love for not just the self, but for others too. So that feels important. Okay, I'm seeing a racetrack. They're showing me a racetrack, race cars. I'm not sure if that's something that you are involved with, or maybe family is involved with racing. It feels very cathartic. It feels like a cathartic activity or something that you enjoy. There's a suggestion, if it's not something you're involved with, it's something that you could consider if you are needing community or to meet people with a common interest. That's actually being suggested and recommended. Grounding in water and not just on land is important for you. Whether that is like in the sea or a lake or even just your own like bathtub at home. The suggestion is 3 times a week. So if you can, I don't remember quite where you're at, but if you have access to the sea and are able to connect with that water, that's very powerful and being shown like the trident. a lot of your soul template has been water affiliated and related. Grounding outside on the land is wonderful and amazing. But I am finding, and the Akash has shown this to me, I am experiencing it myself. I've had other friends and clients do this as well, that grounding and coming into a place of deep clarity oftentimes happens in water. So if you have a bathtub at home, there's a recommendation also for frequent detox baths, like a salt bath. So magnesium flakes like Epsom salt or some other kind of magnesium flake that you like. Regular salt, like I use pink salt that I buy in like big tubs in bulk. And then any number of other ingredients that you have access to. Sodium borate is one, baking soda or bicarb is another. There is a suggestion to research ginger, sachets of ginger root in a salt bath, like as hot as you can stand it. I am not sure. I think the ginger may assist in the opening of pores or the opening of the skin to release toxins. You could probably search for a little more information on that online. I'm seeing that this is really important for you, not just physically, but energetically. There's a recommendation as you continue along like your path of self, of sovereignty, of evolution. Frequent energy clearing or clearing of the physical body is being recommended, maybe a little bit more than what you have been doing. Dragon's blood incense, I think that's what it's called. Dragon's blood incense is another item that is quite, I'm going to say, like energetically aligned to assist with clearing. So just kind of do an incense smoke clearing, smoke cleansing around you and your space. There is I'm not sure if I saw this when I met with you before another time. I don't know if I saw this or a different one, but there is a very large animal, animal, but even bigger than what we have here. It is a dog, so that you have an energetic connection with canines. Maybe I saw a wolf before, but right now in your Akash, there is a massive animal, two of them, and one looks like a really, really large St. Bernard's, but much bigger, like as big as this room that I'm in. Energetic St. Bernard type dog, similar. That's the closest I can describe in language that we have here. And then there is also a being, a canine feeling being that looks like, the best I can get is Anubis. And I'm not going to editorialize about that pantheon. But feeling into what Anubis is said to have represented or said to have carried out is important for you right now as you continue speaking your truth to yourself, to others, and to the world, and living it in aligned action. There's actually, if you are somebody who feels the call into some kind of energy work practice yourself, I'm being shown that end of life, like death work, and the deep well of compassion that you have and can hold and can express and expand for others is really, really aligned to assisting people and their loved ones during these transitions of leaving the body. If you have not yet, in some capacity, connected with or worked with older people, some of the living elders, there is just so much. I'm seeing the Akash is showing me all these possibilities where you connect with, even volunteering. If you had like time to volunteer and went to a care home, I'm just seeing the intense, deep joy that you bring some of the residents of this facility, that they also in turn offer you, as being potentially very important and full of activation. Yeah, like I'm seeing there's activations that you would be receiving through that. There is nothing wrong with you. It feels so important to say that. Like the Akash is like really, really emphasizing there is nothing wrong with you. You're not unpolished. You're not too rough. You're not trash. And that's like some pretty, like a harsh word to think of, needing to tell you that you're not trash. So no matter what societal pressure you felt or internal pressure based on words that others have said to you, maybe as a child, or just thought forms that were directed at you, resentment that you picked up on from other people, you are valuable, you are needed, you are here, you are living your purpose. And even when it feels aimless, I'm to remind you that feelings are not always facts. So feelings are real. They are energy. They're energy, but it doesn't. What we're to do is allow that emotion, that feeling, to move through, and you. So even when you feel aimless, trust and connect with the divine line that goes to all that is, to source. And remember that you're not here for nothing and that you are worthy. And it is through the connection, these connections, and growing community, even if it's small, even if it's a small, close-knit group of a few good friends, or a few trusted family members, you will continue to exercise the thought form of low self-worth from your body, your mind, your energetic field, and not just in this body-mind complex, but in many of the other concurrent lives or existences that you are currently participating in. There is a recommendation to consider, I guess, like fatty acids, showing me DHA and EPA. Maybe considering cleaning up nutritionally a little bit. Not that we can't or shouldn't indulge and enjoy. It just feels like things could be, there's the Akash is saying, like, put a little more emphasis on what you eat without it ever being something that you hyper focus on, or give too much energy or priority to. But I'm just seeing tightening up a little bit with focusing on a well-rounded, whole foods based diet with plenty of fatty acids for the brain. The fatty acids are going to assist with what comes up for you as potentially like brain fog or feeling extremely scattered and distracted from time to time. So that's being recommended. And again, I'm not a doctor or medical professional. I'm just recommending what comes through in these intuitive sessions, and everybody is to do their own research. And everyone who has sessions with me understands that they are sovereign, and everything is simply offered as advice for you to do with as you please. Okay. There is an extra shadow that I'm going to tell you about that you can address yourself or have a session with me if you need help with. I'm literally seeing it like in the Peter Pan, the way it's like on the feet, attached at the feet. This is part of why you're maybe feeling a little down or a little heavy or a little denser. Of course, all of the collective energies can be causing us to feel denser or a little more depressed, or, I mean, there is a lot going on energetically. So I'm not at all meaning to minimize that, but there is an extra shadow that has attached to you. So you could think of this as a massive thought form. You could think of this as an energy that's no longer serving you. You could think of this as a shadow entity. Whatever best helps you visualize it in order to remove, release, and clear it, as I don't feel that it's serving you any longer. So let me just scan one more time. I'm being asked to touch on really feeling like you have a lot to offer, or a lot of energy, a lot of capacity for energy and connection that isn't being utilized in the way you would like to share it. What's coming up for me to mention is frequently when I do sessions for men in particular, I need to say that men are actually here to be true healers. And I've spoken about this at length. And men have frequently very activated energy centers in the hands, and you are so able to move energy and to cultivate and hold a capacity for more energy that can be applied in healing ways. And I've told several people this, I've had a similar suggestion come through for multiple people in the last year and a half. I'm just really seeing that if you're feeling like you have so much to offer and life isn't working out in order for you to offer it to others, what's being suggested is you look up, do some research about like pranic healing, Reiki, there's other modalities. Quantum touch might be one that you could look at. Even massage or craniosacral or visceral manipulation. I'm just seeing that if you're feeling aimless and as though you have a lot to offer, you're not getting to share it with the world. These are things that you could consider that the Akash is saying would be really aligned with your ability, your capacity, and it would help you while helping others, really help you understand that you are part of this interconnected the group of souls that are here for this time of a big shift, whatever that is, whatever the shift ends up being. We're here, we're doing it. We are holding one another and this world in our hands and hearts, and you are part of that and needed. So with that, the Akashic reading for person number 2 is done, and I am going to just kind of feel into things and see if there's anything else that I'm kind of being asked to address from a collective or general standpoint. The energy right now is such that emotions can feel super intense. This has been coming up a lot, but it's really being emphasized that if things are feeling excessively amplified or intense, it is okay to step away from that topic or that issue for a little while and revisit again several hours later, the next day, the next week, whatever it is, and to allow time and space for centering and settling, and to be able to come to a place of moderating the intensity that you're feeling. So that feels like a significant thing. There's a lot of sleep disruption that many people have been experiencing intermittently for some time now. I'm holding space for that. I've experienced it myself, as have members of my family and household and many friends and other clients that I've worked with. And I'm being guided to share that when I awaken in the night, something that has come into really being a help to me over the last couple of years is actually tapping in, connecting with my heart, connecting with the earth, connecting with the cosmic energies that are benevolent and working with us for our highest good. Tap in and ask, why am I awake right now? Is there something I'm being asked to come into awareness of? Is there a message I'm here to receive? Is there some kind of work, whether that's active energy work or intention setting or praying, whatever it may be? Is there something that I need to be doing? Is there a way that I can use this time of wakefulness to serve, the self, your family, the world, the collective? And that has helped me a lot. And what I have often found to be helpful during these times is to intend that if there are important messages, I receive them kind of in that little, I call it the bridge between being awake and being asleep. And I frequently now, as I am awakened in the nighttime or in the early morning hours, will receive and retain important messages that are relevant to me, and to potentially like other people that I work with or my family, my loved ones. And I will write those down either on a notepad or type them in my phone. Sometimes I tweet them in real time at 2:30 in the morning or something if it feels like it's an important thing to share collectively. And doing this, instead of waking up and being angry that I'm awake and really frustrated that my sleep is being disturbed again, has helped me significantly. I hope that this is a tip that might be helpful for you. I have had several people begin like journaling. So write it down, even just come into a place of stillness and write. If you're awake and unable to get back to sleep right away, write down whatever it is that's presenting or coming up in your field. Valerian has been coming up for me to mention frequently. I myself have not taken valerian in many years. I did find it helpful maybe 10 or 12 years ago when I first tried it. It seems like it's something that helps some people and isn't aligned for others. But I do want to mention, if you are someone who is really suffering from not having enough sleep and you've tried all of the other things, valerian root may be worth consideration. Coming into a place of knowing that you not only are needed here, you're needed there and in other realms that you're working in. So sometimes when we wake up at night, we have been actively participating somewhere else with something else. And that version of the self, that aspect of soul and consciousness needs a break, where the part of you that was there needs to come back into body here. And that is something else that I really needed to share with you because I think it's relevant for what some people have been experiencing. And there is a really bad feeling that many people have when they are awakened at night. And it's like the heart racing, like cortisol got jacked up really hard, really fast. And I am finding that when and if that happens, slow, deep breaths, some water, and then anything that feels soothing and calming to you. Water, the sound of water on a YouTube track or something can be really helpful. And I'm also finding that if that's happening to people a lot, they're typically mineral deficient. So consider magnesium, sodium, potassium, and other trace mineral levels. Okay. This is a season to begin connecting in your local community with others. I'm just being shown a beautiful scene, a nighttime outside scene, sitting around a fire in connection, whether it's ritual or ceremony, or just like a campfire. This is a season and for that. And it is actually how we combat the parasitic soul energy extraction that happens during harvest time. And this is how we retain or take back control of harvest. So those who are familiar with my writing will know that part of my work is to identify and clear energy extraction programs and systems that are harming the ensouled collective of humanity. And this season is a time when there's much energy extracted. So we need to come together in love, grace, compassion, and peace to take back control of the autumn harvest. And let's see, is that all? Let me feel into. Oh, and then it's also the season for ancestral chain breaking. So if you're somebody who has been sensing for a little while that it's time to do some lineage work, I am here to confirm that the Akash is really showing me all of the ancestral chains that need to be broken. And many of you here or who will be watching the replay in the next 3 or 4 days are the chain breakers for your family lines. And this is an honor and it is a challenge. And you came for this. I see time and again, massive expanded souls choosing to incarnate in complex, challenging, traumatic family lines to be the chain breaker and healer of the lineage. And many of you are participating in that, some of you more consciously and more aware than others. I'm honored to connect with any of you who are needing to start but not sure how to go about, or feel that you need some support in beginning that process. So if you'd like to work with me, feel free to check out my offerings or shoot me an email if you'd like to be considered for a package. I have not encountered a chain yet that I could not assist in quantum lasering off of somebody's ankle or waist. So I will just share with you that you are seen, you are cared for, and you are more supported than many of us tend to remember and know when we are in the midst of the hard. And those who are drawn to my work are typically people who are carrying more for the fullness of the world population than some others are, simply because you came in with more capacity with which to do that. And it is, again, both an honor and a challenge. And you can alchemize this. And the work that you're doing for humanity and yourself really, really matters. Yes, all is good. Know it true. Yes. I've written some about my sense of how the fall or autumn sort of extraction begins. And I'm not a food purist. I enjoy treats. I'm actually a very accomplished baker. I bake a lot. I've done a lot of, when I was eating differently, I became very accomplished at gluten-free and very low carb or keto baking. I can do a lot of vegan baking. I enjoy baking. It's one of my meditative practices. However, I guess what I want to say is that when I visualize and do visioning on this, kind of the energy extraction that might occur around this time of year, it does seem like there is an aspect of pushing unhealthy processed foods in the form of candy and excess eating. And like pushing a spirit of gluttony and lack of health through false holidays. So I will offer that to you for your consideration, that while I don't think it's the cause, I think it is part of something that can create conditions that lead to illness or dis-ease within the body. So if anybody hasn't considered that perspective before, I wanted to offer it to you as the Akash was still streaming about kind of this time of year and how we can have a beautiful October. And I think with that, I'm going to just thank you so much for coming. And I think the next live will be Sunday or Monday evening. Probably Sunday. Yeah, probably Sunday. But I will be announcing, I'll try to announce here on the community post, and I'll also be announcing on my primary Twitter at SarahDescending. So again, thank you guys so much for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your evening or morning, afternoon if you're somewhere else in the world, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.